I want to start today with something that I don't talk nearly enough about on this podcast. There was a period in my life, and we don't have to talk about the exact specifics, but around 40, where I had genuinely believed I had become someone who just didn't really hunger for things anymore, didn't desire things anymore, like food or sex or adventure, not even a full night's sleep without some form of guilt about what I wasn't doing. I thought it was probably some hormonal shift that comes in perimenopause. I thought it was just I was getting older, and I thought, and this is the one that really gets me now. I really thought that this is just who I am now. That maybe my desire, my hunger, my zest for life was something that belonged to just a younger version of me. And I must have simply, I don't know, outgrown it. Yeah, I guess I thought I had just outgrown it. And I want you to hear what I know now that I didn't know then. I was not broken. I was not broken. I was silenced. And there's a massive, devastating, important difference between those two things. And that's what today's episode is all about. I'm Natty Frasca, and this is The Feminine Rebellion. And if you've been quietly wondering whether the wanting is gone for good, please stay with me, because what I'm about to tell you I think it might be the most important thing you hear this year. First, I want to blow something wide open, because most of us hear the word desire and our brains go immediately to one place, and that's sex. And yes, sexual desire is part of the conversation. Of course it is. And we are not going to tiptoe around that. I mean, this is the Feminine Rebellion after all, and we're into sex here. But desire is so much more than that. Desire is the wanting of anything, the wanting of connection, of any kind of pleasure, of rest, recognition, adventure, aliveness, the feeling of being in your body and being thrilled to be there. Desire is the body's signal that it is alive and engaged with the world. It's the part of you that reaches. It leans forward. It says, yeah, I want more of that. And when desire goes quiet, it does not mean the body is broken. This is what I know now. It means the body stopped feeling safe enough to want. I want to repeat that. When desire goes quiet, it means the body stopped feeling safe enough to want. And I want to ask you something, and I want you to actually sit with this instead of tiptoeing or going quickly past it. When was the last time you wanted something purely for yourself? Not for your kids, not for your partner, not to be a better woman, not to be a better employee or a more patient mother or a more fucking enlightened human being. None of that. Something just for you. Something that had no productivity value whatsoever, no justification, no ROI. When was that? What was it? Did you get it? Or, and this is the question that lands differently, did you talk yourself out of it before you even finish that internal sentence or that want? Most of the women I know and most of the women I've worked with cannot answer that question easily. And that is the problem. It's not your fucking hormones. It's not your age. It's not your marriage. And it's certainly not anything wrong with your body. The problem is that somewhere along the way, we stopped asking. We just stopped asking. Here's the science part, and I'm going to keep this brief because I want you to actually feel this and not just understand it cognitively. The nervous system, when it's in a chronic state of stress or vigilance or people pleasing, looking outside of ourselves, managing, we cannot generate desire. It is physiologically incompatible. Your nervous system will not let it happen. When we've spent decades in this high alert, performing, managing, anticipating everyone else's needs before they even fucking voice them, the body redirects all of its resources toward survival. Desire becomes buried. Desire becomes a luxury, and a nervous system that's running on empty, doing everything it can to just keep you functioning. We don't fund luxury. And this is not a weakness on any of our parts at all. This is actually your very brilliant and capable and trained body doing exactly what it was designed to do. It protected you. It kept you safe. It did exactly as it was told. The question now at midlife is, what does that protection cost us in the long run? So if desire has gone quiet in your life, I need you to hear this really, really clearly. For all the women in the back, I'm going to scream this one. Your body is not broken. Your body, there's nothing wrong with your body at all. Your body just learned that desire, that wanting, was not safe. And today we're going to talk about exactly how that happened and what it actually looks like to begin to undo it. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to pause for a second because I want you to do something for me right now and for the women in your life. I want you to send this episode to someone. Really, I know you already have her in your brain. I want you to send it to the woman in your life who you see her, right? We see the women in our lives, the women who are so busy taking care of everyone else that she's completely forgotten what it feels like to take care of herself. The one who says, I'm fine, before you've even finished asking her the question. I want you to pause the audio or the YouTube and send it to her. To the woman who can tell you exactly what everyone around her needs and goes completely blank when you ask her what she needs. All right, I'm literally going to pause here for a few seconds while you do it because I need every single woman to hear this message. No, for real, I'm pausing. Go ahead, I'm waiting. I'm waiting while you click share. Okay, amazing. Okay, I want to walk you through 4 specific ways that desire gets conditioned out of women over the course of her lifetime. And I call these the 4 silencers. And as I name them, I want you to really notice which one lands in your body, not which ones you understand intellectually, but as I'm speaking, which one do you actually feel? Which one do you actually feel? Okay, silencer number 1. You're going to know this one. Silencer number 1 is the good girl training. We've talked about this before in many episodes. From the time we're small, and I mean really, really small, like 5 or 6 years old, girls are rewarded for being agreeable, right? We talk about this. We're rewarded for being helpful, undemanding, easygoing. When a girl's quiet, she's praised. What a good girl. When she's accommodating, when she does things for people, she's loved, she's wonderful, she's giving, she's generous. But when she talks too loudly or too unabashedly or unshamedly, she learns quickly that behavior comes at a cost. Social rejection, disapproval from her parents, being labeled as difficult, too much, needy. Later in life, she's called high maintenance. We learn that our needs, our very needs, are an inconvenience. They're an annoyance to the people that we love, the people that we want to be accepted by. And so we learn to shrink them. We learn to manage them, to defer them. We learn this very advanced art of needing things privately and then pretending publicly that we don't. I did this for years, for decades. I was low maintenance. I was the chill girl. But by the time we're 40, and most of us have, by the time we're 40, 35 years of practicing not wanting. So that, my friends, is not a hormone problem. That is not a hormone problem. That is a training problem. Your wants have actually been quite literally trained out of you. Okay, silencer number 2. This is a big one. This is so fucking annoying to me. The performance of busyness. And I see this everywhere. So midlife women, right? We're drowning in responsibility. So most of us are managing careers, relationships, children, sometimes aging parents at the same time as freaking teenagers. We're managing households, friendships, our own crazy health, finances, everyone else's emotional world. And somewhere along the way, our busyness became a badge of honor. Like, you ask a woman how she's doing, and she's like, oh my God, I'm so busy. As if busy means worthy, right? Busyness equals worthiness. As if you're constantly doing, it means somehow that you're enough. But this is the deal about busyness and desire. Desire requires spaciousness. It requires stillness. It requires the body to have a moment. And even if it's a tiny, tiny moment, when it's not in service of something or someone else, when it's not performing, when it's not producing, and when it's not managing the things around her, when your body is just simply being. And most women, I know, most women who enter my world, they haven't had a moment like that in years. So of course, desire went quiet. Of course, because we never gave it a chance to actually speak to us. That's the truth. Okay, silencer number 3. This is a good one. The story about the body. The story about the body. We live in a culture that tells midlife women relentlessly and in 1,000 different ways that their bodies are declining, right? They're failing. They're becoming invisible. They're past their prime. They're in need of some form of correction. I mean, the anti-aging industry is worth over $60 billion. $60 billion built entirely on the premise that the midlife female body is a problem to be solved. And when a woman has spent years, sometimes decades, at war with her body, trying to shrink it, trying to fix it, trying to manage it, try to make it acceptable, trying to make it just simply enough, of course, the body stops offering pleasure signals. I mean, why would it? You can't be at war with something and simultaneously expect it to delight you. The body, your body that is under occupation, seriously, does not offer pleasure. What it offers to you is survival. And survival is not the same as aliveness. We know this. Silencer number 4. And this is the one that I think gets the most overlooked. Definitely the most overlooked. Unprocessed grief. Grief lives in the body. It's not an emotion that gets thought through and through in therapy and gets resolved. It is a physical experience. It is a physical experience that needs to move. And most midlife women are carrying copious amounts, enormous amounts of unprocessed grief. We grieve, the younger version of ourselves, grief for marriages that didn't survive, grief for the career she left or didn't really dial into because she had kids, grief for her mother that she lost or is losing, grief for paths not taken, for dreams that she shelved, or for the version of herself, that wild woman version that society told her she had to outgrow. The body protects us. It protects us from feeling grief that is too large, too big, too hairy to process in a few therapy sessions. And the way it does that is by turning down the volume. And it turns down the volume on everything, including desire, including joy, including hunger, including the simple animalistic pleasure of being alive in your beautiful, gorgeous, magnetic body. I mean, numbness is actually your body's kindness. It's kindness to us when we haven't given it the space to truly grieve. Now, none of these silencers are your fault. And I really, really want you to hear that and feel that. Every single one of these silencers was done to you by a world that found it significantly more convenient to have you quiet and compliant and taking up as little space as possible. The question now, and the only question that matters, is what you want to do about it right now. So I want to be very clear about something before I give you anything practical to do on this podcast, because these tools I want to share with you, they're not, an absolute fix. I don't want to give you some stupid 5-step plan to hack desire back into existence. I am not going to add another thing to your already overwhelmingly large self-fucking improvement list, because the truth is, desire doesn't need to be created. No, it doesn't need to be created. Desire needs to be allowed. It needs the space for it to be allowed. Your body already knows right now what it wants. It's always known. The work is not about manufacturing something. The work is about removing the obstacles to what is already there, quietly, patiently waiting for you to feel enough safety to let it resurface. So there are 3 entry points. There are 3 really, really small doable things you can do this week, and not as a self-improvement hack, but rather as like little baby experiments. Okay, entry point number 1 is the 1-minute wanting practice. That's it, seriously. Once a day, just once. And it doesn't have to be dramatic at all. I just want you to pause. You can put this in your calendar, in a reminder. Pause. Put a hand on your chest or your belly or both and ask your body, not your mind, but your body, what do you want right now? What do you want right now? Not what it should want, not what's practical or what's really possible right now or even appropriate. What does it actually want? Just that simple 1-minute check-in. It could just be you want quiet. Maybe you want movement. Maybe it's a really specific kind of food or a song or 5 minutes sitting in the sunshine without your phone. It's just a simple question, checking in with your body, asking it what it wants. You're going to start small. You're going to start with things that don't require anyone else's permission. Now, the practice is only in the asking. That's it. The practice is tapping in and asking. It is not in the getting. You are simply building a relationship with the part of yourself that you've been ignoring for a really long time. And you don't rush that. You just show up for a minute and ask. Just show up for 1 minute a day, check in with your body, and ask. Okay, entry point number 2. This is one of my favorite things. We call it pleasure research in my work. I want you to get a piece of paper, not your notes on your phone, but an actual piece of paper and a pen, and write down every single thing that you can remember that has ever made your body feel alive. Just brain dump. Every experience, every sensation, every moment of like genuine, uncomplicated joy that you can remember. Like, I can still remember a truffle pasta I had in Italy like 20 years ago. So specific food, or swimming in an open ocean, or dancing in your kitchen when no one's there, or a conversation that you had that went so deep and so good and you lost track of time, or a book that you couldn't put down, or I don't know, a piece of music that just makes your whole body hum. Your job is to just take a piece of paper and a pen and write it down, and then read it back and notice how many of those things have you stopped doing. This is seriously groundbreaking, believe me. And then I want you to pick one, just one, and you can circle it, do whatever, but just pick one from that list and do it this week. That's it. Pick one thing and do it this week. And not as some fucking self-care thing, not as some strategy to get your desire back, not because, it's going to make you more productive, although it probably will, or make you, I don't know, a more enlightened human being. Do it maybe as an act of rebellion. Yeah. Do it as an act of rebellion. Entry point number 3. We call this one the no that creates a yes. So every yes that you give to something that you don't really want to do is really a no to yourself. Ooh, right? So every obligation accepted out of guilt, every event you attend that you feel kind of obligated to attend, every favor that's given out of depletion instead of like genuine generosity, every single one of those things is like a withdrawal from an account that's already in the red. So you're going to pick one thing this week that you're going to say no to. Just genuinely, cleanly, just without a 3-paragraph explanation of why you can't make it, why you can't do it, why that doesn't work for you. It's just no, or I'm not available for that. It's that fucking simple. And I want you to notice what happens in your body when you do it. Like a small tightening, usually, and then release, that exhale, that pride, that of that space that just opened up for you. It is in that space where desire lives and breathes. Okay, I want to leave you with this. Your desire is not gone. That hunger is not gone. It was never gone. It went underground because it had to, because you were surviving, because the world taught you, our patriarchal world culture taught you to be small. It taught you that wanting things was dangerous or selfish or just impossible given everything else on your plate. But underground is not dead. Underground is waiting. The underground can be fertile, and it is waiting for you to be brave enough. Just once, just for like a few minutes this week, to ask it what it needs. So your body is not broken. It never was. It was just waiting for you to come back to it. And today you start coming back. I will see you next week. If this episode cracked something open in you, your next step is joining the over 1,100 women inside the Feminine Rebellion community. It is free, it is alive, and it is waiting for you at thefemininerebellion.com/community. All right. As always, love you madly, and let's fucking go. Mwah.